Hi, I'm Sherry Youngward. Welcome to the Quiet Place podcast. This is a place for you to come up for air anytime, day or night, and find a quiet moment of replenishment and rest. I am so glad you are here. If you would like to hear about upcoming gatherings, new music, and online women's events, which I offer once a month, please join my email list. Also, if you'd like to help support this podcast through a one-time gift or through the gift exchange, which is a monthly support option where I in turn send you a monthly gift, thank you so much. You can do all these things at sherryyoungward.com. Thanks again. This episode is dedicated to Alana W. If you've been following along in real time, I've told you I've been working behind the scenes on a new series, which officially begins next week, but I wanted to give an introduction, a prequel of sorts. I am working on a project centered around Psalm 23. This began as a writing project. A year or so ago, I joined an intensive 8-week writing group, which was hosted by Anne Croker. You will notice, as I go through the episodes, sometimes the language sounds a little more polished, and that is because it is. I spent a lot of time hammering through sentences. And then you will notice my words are a little looser, like I always speak, with a little less polish. I learned my writing voice is different than my talk-to-you voice. Oh, also, Danny Donnelly composed and played new music for this series. Here's a little taste. Here is Psalm 23 in the New International Version. A Psalm of David. The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I asked 3 of my friends to write in 200 words-ish what Psalm 23 brought to their mind. I will read from Jordan, who is a wife and mom to the cutest 1-year-old, and daughter to my longtime friend Gina. I'll read from JL, who sends a Christmas letter from the point of view of her cat, which is both funny and ingenious. I will also read from Shannon, who sent her 200-ish words by text. And the same day, she sent a photo of her hand, a paintbrush, and its handle all covered in brown paint. Later, she wrote, "Today I started teaching a Bible study on Daniel at work. And at the very end, one of the girls asked me about my interesting tattoo, which turned out to be a smear of brown paint on the back of my arm. This is something I understand personally and I love about Shannon." She actually sent a list of other painting mishaps, including a bucket of paint that dropped on her head, like the cartoons, her words, because she moved a ladder and forgot the bucket on it. Why am I telling you this? Because I learned that Psalm 23 has a way of going deep. My friends were eloquent about what they learned about God in this psalm. Each perspective was heart-softening to me in different ways. I love the cartoonish side of my friends, and I love their depth. Anyone who knows me, really knows me, knows I have a deeply cartoonish side. Like the time, first thing in the morning, when I tried to talk like Darth Vader to my friend Gia through her heating vent. Probably had to be there. So, if you are listening to this with a paint tattoo or a bump on your head, whether literally or figuratively, or maybe there's something deeper going on, all sides of you fit right in. Here is what Jordan, JL, and Shannon wrote. I'll end with Psalm 23, which inspired it all. From Jordan. Here is some of what Psalm 23 means to me. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Another translation puts it, I have all that I need. When I was 18 years old, in a women's Bible study, I remember these words illuminating for the first time in my heart. The speaker said, until we know and believe the good news that the Lord is our shepherd, she said, we can't truly understand the rest of the psalm. I still think about that every time I read it. Do I believe the good news that God is my shepherd? Maybe I'm stressed out because I think it's my responsibility to manage things. Perhaps I'm in a dark place, and it doesn't feel like He's taking good care of me. When I feel desperately overcome by need, it's so hard to read the words, I shall not want. They only make sense if I read the words that come before them. The Lord is my shepherd, because the truth is, He is all that I need. He takes responsibility for me. He pledged His life to care for me. He walks beside me into every dark valley. He sets His affection on me. If the Lord is my shepherd, I truly have all I need. It's not the green pastures or the still waters or the sheepy snacks along the road that make me okay, though He is loving and gracious to give them. It is the shepherd Himself. All my needs are met in His nature and proximity. Thank you, Jordan. From JL. If someone were to ask you to think of a handful of sentences about a shepherd, you probably wouldn't think of that shepherd being one with an intimate personal relationship with his sheep. And yet, Psalm 23 is just that. A picture of the protective care our shepherd gives us. Scripture refers to us as sheep several times, which is frankly extremely insulting and embarrassingly accurate. Sheep aren't the brightest of animals. They find themselves in all sorts of misadventures, lacking in the common sense department and completely oblivious to the danger they put themselves in. Like I said, calling us sheep is an embarrassingly accurate description. Despite how like sheep we are, He sees us as precious children, not a burden. He leads us to places of rest and relief from the difficult seasons in our lives. He knows the way there and guides us to that place. Just as a shepherd uses his staff to gently steer the sheep in the right direction. During the times we feel lost and in the dark, He is right beside us, giving us comfort. The handful of sentences in Psalm 23 are a tender reminder that we aren't trying to blindly do life on our own. We have someone leading us and staying close beside us who is leading us towards a breathtaking place of peaceful rest. Thank you, JL. From Shannon. Let's see. I love that it's a picture of our journey from the moment we're born again until the moment we dwell with Him. And I love God's gentle honesty through this psalm. He doesn't paint the picture with only rosy hues. He includes both light and shadow. You'll tire on this journey, but I will bring you rest. I'll even make you rest if it comes to that. You won't just tire physically, you'll weary down to your soul, but I will restore you. You'll feel lost, but I will lead you. You'll have choices, good paths or bad, but if you follow me, I'll lead you along the right paths. And that right path taking will glorify me. At times, the light will fade and evil will swoop, but my presence will keep fear away. My rod both corrects and guides, and I'll apply it accordingly, but you'll learn to find comfort in that rod. You'll collect enemies, but one day, everyone will get an eyeful of my love for you. I will pour myself out on you and love you lavishly. My guidance will go before you, and my goodness and love will follow behind. I will hem you all around with me, and one day, this hard path will lead you straight into my arms. Thank you, Shannon. From David, inspired by God, for you and for me. The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for His name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.